A warm welcome to Pulse of Culture here on TVP World. The Chopin Piano Competition wrapped up in the fall of last year. Yet the echoes of this most prestigious musical event have continued to reverberate around the globe. Today we're taking a look at some of those moments and their lasting impact. The next edition of the competition will take place in 4 years. And we begin in Japan, where our reporter Gabriela Fesnak followed the winners of the 19th Chopin Piano Competition. Traditionally, this tour marks the crowning moment of victory, an exclamation point at the end of one of the most demanding and fiercely contested musical competitions in the world.
Audiophiles in Nagoya were in for a treat last weekend. Warsaw Philharmonic Orchestra, accompanied by the winners of the 2025 Chopin competition, performed at the city's Prefectural Arts Theatre for the final show of their Japan tour. Japan is often described as the country that loves Chopin just as much as Poland, and the performers agree that playing his music for a Japanese audience is a one-of-a-kind experience.
Well, it's very special here. I'm well aware of Japanese people's great love for Chopin. They've always been very supportive over the years, and they love to follow also the Chopin competition, of course.
Japan is certainly a really important country to me, one of my favorite countries to visit and to play. Japanese audiences, of course, is a very special type of audience as they listen very carefully and they follow what the pianist and what the music does to them.
I feel like Japan is the right place to do this tour in. They're all, I feel, very much into Chopin and they're all very respectful.
Antoni Witt, who has toured Japan dozens of times during his career as an orchestra conductor, points out the astounding discipline noticeable when performing for a Japanese audience.
Japanese audiences are incredibly disciplined. Applause starts and ends in unison, as if they were led by a conductor. It can make a really strong impression when you're on stage.
Due to the popularity of Chopin's music in Japan, the organizers don't even need to promote the tour. The tickets sell out within minutes nonetheless.
Chopin is undoubtedly one of the most beloved composers in Japan. The tour doesn't need any promotion because the fans are waiting for it to be announced and often travel with us from city to city because seeing the performance just once isn't enough.
It's a Japanese agency that organizes this tour after every Chopin competition. No other country does such a tour, and it shows how important Chopin is in Japan.
The program includes Chopin's piano concertos and selected solo pieces presented at each stage of the competition.
Chopin's music is the pinnacle of the beauty that the piano as an instrument can offer. Performing his pieces is both the most difficult task and the greatest joy.
After the Nagoya show closed the Japanese leg of the tour, the artists traveled to South Korea for the grand finale at the Seoul Arts Center. For TVP World, Gabriela Fesnak.
This tour with the Warsaw Philharmonic is an experience the pianists describe as a rare chance to spend time together again, to reconnect and to feel like a musical family. We asked whether they've had time to grow into their new roles as winners, how life has changed since the competition, and what Chopin's music means to them now after the intensity of those unforgettable weeks.
It has already been more than 3 months since the end of the 2025 International Chopin Competition.
Gold medal goes to Eric Lu.
But for the winners, those couple of weeks since October is hardly enough to get used to the thought of winning a prize at the Chopin competition.
I mean, to me, this was something that I think a few years ago I never would have thought was possible for me. I guess since I knew about the Chopin competition for a long time and I've watched all the previous editions of it, I just never imagined that I myself could be one of the participants, so I don't think I can ever really get used to it.
It's always an honor, and it's always been an honor to be involved in the cultural exchange between Poland and other countries, like here in Japan. So being a laureate of the Chopin competition only reinforced this exchange and the need of sharing beauty and sharing Polish culture around the world.
It's been a whirlwind of concerts since. I haven't had much time to just reflect and think back at the crazy time that it was, but it's certainly given me many opportunities and I'm very grateful for them.
Being awarded a Chopin competition prize is not only about prestige. The winners get to participate in a special tour of Japan that ends with a grand finale in South Korea.
Being able to connect with such talented pianists from my own generation is one of the real joys of the competition. We've become very close. We respect each other and are getting along splendidly.
For all the packed halls and devoted fans, one question remains. What is it about Chopin's music that continues to speak to people the world over?
His music has a direct line to the human soul, I think. He speaks very much to the human condition, the emotional world of human beings, from all the highs to all the lows.
After the grand finale in Seoul, and with each musician at the advent of their international careers, the 19th International Chopin Piano Competition winners' paths are bound to diverge. Though the rest of their careers may scatter them across the globe, each with their own trajectory that may or may not intersect, these winning musicians will always be united by their love for Poland's most iconic composer.
Don't worry if you're not in Japan. Here in Warsaw, we also have music events worth stepping away from your desk for a moment. Take lunchtime concerts, for instance, intimate musical gatherings in the very heart of the city. For many Warsavians, they've become a welcome pause in the day, a chance to slow down and encounter art right in the city center. Natalia Komarov has more.
Having a little break? Stop scrolling. Instead, you can immerse yourself in a heavenly musical experience. The Holy Trinity Church in the center of Warsaw offers lunchtime concerts every Wednesday. Today we're hearing Johann Sebastian Bach, a classic choice for organ music.
It's about promoting music performed on the highest possible level by very young organists. Most of them are students from Polish music schools, but some are even younger, coming from music-oriented high schools.
The Lutheran Holy Trinity Church was built in 1781. King Stanisław August Poniatowski personally picked the design inspired by the Roman Pantheon. Fun fact, in the 19th century, measurements were made and revealed that this house of worship stood in the exact center of Warsaw. Even back then, it doubled as a concert hall. In 1825, the one and only Frédéric Chopin played here for Tsar Alexander.
The interior itself is beautiful, historical, and indeed it remembers Chopin performing here as a teenager. No doubt it inspires young artists to perform their music to the best of their ability.
All around Warsaw, there's beauty to be found. Lunchtime concerts on Wednesdays at noon. For TVP World, Natalia Komarov.
And now it's time for Culture Beats. This time we begin with an extraordinary exhibition here in the heart of Warsaw. In the southeastern corner of Poland lives a distinctive ethnic group of Carpathian Highlanders with a rich history and culture of their own. They're known as the Lemko people. Now a new exhibition at the State Ethnographic Museum is bringing their story into the spotlight. Karolina Szapland reports.
Did you know that America's most recognizable pop artist, Andy Warhol, was a Lemko? While his work is unmistakably New World in style, his work and roots lie firmly in an old European borderland at the intersection of today's Poland, Slovakia and Ukraine. It was never an autonomous country, but one with a distinct cultural presence. And this presence is examined now in Warsaw at the State Ethnographic Museum. The story of the Lemkos is one of marginalization and exclusion. After the Second World War, the community faced systematic discrimination. This culminated in forced resettlement during Operation Vistula, a state-led campaign that permanently reshaped Lemko life and culture.
This exhibition is very important to me because I am a Lemko myself. I'm what you might call an insider researcher. I came to understand my own Lemko identity gradually. Sadly, after Operation Vistula, the passing on of Lemko identity from one generation to the next was broken.
Warhol is not the only well-known artist with Lemko roots. In Poland, the modernist painter Jerzy Nowosielski is a key reference point, while the naive painter Epifaniusz Drowniak, known as Nikifor, remains one of the most recognizable figures of 20th century outsider art. Forms of presence, the art of Lemkos and Carpathian Russians represents a shift in museum practice. In case of Lemkos, it brings a new narrative moving away from a romanticized folk culture. What emerges is a rich, living, sophisticated artistic practice. For TVP World, I'm Karolina Szapland.
And speaking of minorities, we have many dialects and languages here in Poland. This is echoed in the new children's book, Gwarno. The book, in a light and witty way, introduces the languages of national and ethnic minorities living in Poland, as well as selected Polish dialects, because linguistic diversity is best appreciated simply by listening to it. From the same impulse comes a story about Anna Jachnina, a musical project that returns to voices recorded in the field. Songs and stories from Kujawy and Pomerania regions of Poland. Anna Jachnina, now almost forgotten, spent many years documenting folk music, recording performers in places where a microphone rarely reached. She was a journalist, documentarian and popularizer of folk culture from Pomerania and Kujawy. A Story About Anna Jachnina is an album made to be listened to on vinyl and at the same time an extraordinary encounter with family history. This moving musical audio piece was created by the protagonist's grandson, Wojciech Jachna, together with Marcin Karnowski. And for fans of the visual arts, there's a new treat in Krakow. A new exhibition by one of the most distinctive painters of Poland's young generation, Łukasz Stokłosa, has just opened at the Bunkier Sztuki Gallery. To coincide with a show, a monographic album bearing the same title is also set to be released. Not an exhibition catalogue, but an autonomous publication devoted entirely to the artist's work. And if you enjoy the works of Łukasz Stokłosa and would like to learn more, he was our guest here on Pulse of Culture this week, so make sure to check out that conversation. And with this, we conclude this episode of Pulse of Culture. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for more.